right, everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. 4-0 Eagles, Sports Hounds, talking about it right now.
Let's go! This ain't the Rock Night. Oh, this game can he stink.
Oh, shit.
It's gone.
All right, everybody, it's Monday night, live on A2D Radio. Another edition of the Sports Hounds is live. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn those notifications on, because we're telling the world we're the only undefeated team in the NFL. Our Philadelphia Eagles, your Philadelphia Eagles, are 4-0, and they're looking good doing it. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, and Instagram. You miss anything here on A2D Radio, download us wherever you get your podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes. It's Takeover Talk. No reason to miss a damn thing this football season. We got basketball. The Sixers are in their preseason debut tonight. We got Monday Night Football. We got all the Week 4 action covered. We'll take an early look at Week 5 like we always do. Brad Ryer, he'll be on a little bit. Jimmy, little game time decision tonight. Have some things going on. First and foremost, all our friends in Georgia, all our friends in Florida, New Jersey, flooding down there from what we're hearing from Jimmy and Brad. Hopefully everyone is safe from the remnants of Hurricane Ian, and hopefully this is the only one of the season, because we want everyone to be sports is fun, but very few things, at least in my opinion, are more important than sports, and that's certainly one of them. So hopefully everyone is safe out there. We're always brought to you by the ARIA Public Adjusting. Obviously, if you're in South Jersey, Florida, Georgia, wherever you damage to your home, don't fight those. Homeowners insurance alone, contact ARIA Public Adjusting at 813-564-3364. Tell them I sent you, Sports Hounds, A2D Radio sent you. They're on your side. Don't fight your homeowners insurance alone. We're also brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. Our doc, make them yours too, Dr. Paul Vidal. Our poll question of the night brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off free shipping with the promo code A2D. That's 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life with Manscaped. Our poll question tonight, Jalen Hurts has proven that he is the guy here in Philadelphia once and for all. Listen, I had a loss yesterday. It was cold. I was down at the game. It was cold. It was miserable. I had a trap game coming in. Doug P's going on. The weather's bad. A lot of weird things can happen in the weather. It was windy. We had some injuries. But you go down 14-0 to a pretty good football team over there in Jacksonville. Well coached by Doug P. They got a franchise quarterback. So that's a good football team there. Another good win. And you overcome adversity, overcoming a 14-0 deficit, albeit at home in the elements. Wasn't easy playing football yesterday. It certainly wasn't easy sitting down there in the stands. So that's the measure of a great football team. When you look at these trap games, you identify these trap games before the season, like we all do. We all play the win-loss game, as meaningless and stupid as it might be. We all do it. Mm-hmm. We all do it. And I identified this as a trap game. So when you go out and you win your trap games, that signifies to me that you're welcome to the party.
Yep.
You're an elite team. You're a Super Bowl contender, and you're one of in the upper echelon of the NFC. We had two upper echelon teams, at least in my opinion, on Monday Night Football tonight. We're going to get to that a little later. Rams, Niners. Niners have won 8 straight regular season games against the Rams. Obviously, the Rams got them when it mattered most in that NFC title game, but good luck betting tonight because I have no feel for you. I'm not even gonna try.
Mm-mm.
If you are gonna bet, use BetUSA. Use our promo code get the 125 sign up bonus right there. Sportsbook in the market for over 25 years. Bet anywhere in the U.S. 125 sign up bonus with A2D. But our poll question tonight: Jalen Hurts has proven once and for all that he's the franchise quarterback. It's an agree for me. I'll eat crow on Jalen Hurts. He's improved a lot. His eyes are always downfield. He does things athletically. The boys in the locker room clearly respect him. The coach trusts him.
Mm-hmm.
A couple big fourth downs yesterday. Nick Sirianni, even in the weather, said, Jalen, go get it. We trust you.
Yep.
Now, I know there's a lot of talk about the Howie discount, but the Eagles cannot re-sign Jalen Hurts to a long-term extension until after the season. And for the most part, I am against paying guys early. Howie gets away with it a lot, and he's really good at it, but he can't do that until after the season. But this is a franchise quarterback. Is this kid Josh Allen or Herbert or Mahomes? By the way, Mahomes, remember when no one on the Sports Hounds picked the Chiefs to go to the playoffs in the AFC? Good one. They take apart the Bucs last night. So is he that? No. But I'm comfortable saying that the Eagles have 2 first-round picks this upcoming draft. One of them looks like it's going to be pretty high because the Saints are an absolute disaster right now.
Yep. That
you don't have to use one of those selections on a quarterback. You don't have to package any of these picks for a quarterback. So you can just keep reloading around offensive line, edge rushers, corners, safeties, everything. Yep. You don't have to use a quarterback. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic. And this is a great roster. Mm-hmm. So when you go and win a trap game, like I thought it was yesterday, identify it as a trap game, that proves to me, Evan, that you're an elite football team, and you can't be an elite football team in this league unless you have a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles have one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
agree. Yeah, I do think that Jalen Hurts earned his right so far just from the massive improvement we saw last season. He's getting past his first reads. He's not a read and run sort of guy. He'll dish it out if he has to. And getting that's what happens when you get a guy like AJ Brown coming in, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins. That's who you need around you. It's one of the best wide receiving cores in the NFL right now. So I just think that's absolutely important to have all the everything around him, the coach, absolutely everything. And they really showed us like the first our 4 wins are actually statement wins in my opinion. Some may disagree, but that first week, you don't know how the Eagles are going to come out. You don't know if they're going to come out slow. They played a great game, and the Lions played a great game too. Week 2, Monday Night Football in prime time against a guy who chokes a lot, but it's still a good team. They're 3-1 right now. Their only losses against you. You go into week 3, that's also a big game. Like there's a big storyline behind it. And as well as week 4, there's a big storyline, and Jacksonville's getting better. They might even I'm going to say they're going to win their division. So,
yeah, I had them as a 10, 11 win team before the season. There's Brad Ryer in the house. Hopefully everything's well and good down there in Ventnor with the storm.
Everything's flooded down here.
That's what we've been hearing.
Yep.
Aaron Judge is up to bat.
Yes, he is.
Right now, chasing number 62, the Yankee record. Brad, what do you say to people, not to get off on a tangent here, we are going to be talking football majority of the show, but we will take a break here for Aaron Judge's at bat, doing a live look in on ESPN. What do you say to people that don't understand this record and how much it means? Because it's not an MLB record. Obviously, Barry Bonds has that.
Correct.
It's a Yankee record. But
it's also an American League record.
Good point.
And it's the American League record. And also, Aaron Judge is not cheating. He hasn't been caught doing performance-enhancing drugs. And a lot of the guys that broke the record have all been caught doing it or highly suspected of doing it, and a lot of people are, especially the ones who don't want these kind of guys in the Hall of Fame, are not giving them any love either. So everybody wants Judge to do it.
There he
Judge just hit a bullet.
lines out the second, gets
Yeah,
doubled off there. So
yeah,
a
he
little
just
bit
hit
of
a
a
bullet,
buzzkill.
but it's hard to hit 61 home runs. That's a lot of home runs, and nobody really wants to pitch to him for fear of being the one linked to history of giving up number 62. And he's had an unbelievable amount of pressure on him because he's also trying to win a triple crown, which is like it. I mean, he's either kind of got to go for one or the other. You can't. It's almost impossible for him to concentrate on both. So, uh, and that's kind of what it is right now. But it is. It's very emotional because again, it's an American League record, and also a lot of people, as I said, think especially Roger Maris Jr. feels that the other three guys, Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds, all cheated, and Judge hasn't had a cheat to do it, and they're calling it illegitimate. So whether you believe it or not, or whether you think that or not, a lot of people are in Roger Maris Jr.'s corner. Personally, I'm not. I feel like Barry Bonds is a great player. He cheated. We know he cheated. Okay. As far as Sammy Sosa is concerned, Sammy Sosa is a flat out fraud. Sammy Sosa put cork in his bat. So you know what? Screw him. He's a piece of garbage. Okay. Mark McGuire. I don't know what to make of Mark McGuire. I mean, Mark McGuire, his rookie year, hit 49 home runs. So I mean, he obviously had the ability to be in there. I think the steroid thing was for him to just not get hurt. I don't think that it was necessarily performance enhancing, but he didn't get hurt. So, but I don't have a problem with him. I don't have as much problem with Bonds as I do Sosa. Sosa corked his bat. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's ridiculous.
All right, Brad. So we got a pretty good football team here in Philadelphia.
You have a very good football team.
So our poll question of the night is: Jalen Hurts proved yesterday that he is the franchise quarterback once and for all. That's our poll question tonight. That's our jumping off point. What say you?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, and I heard the part where you mentioned he's not. He may not be the best quarterback in the league. He doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the NFL to win for the Eagles to win a championship. He just has to be himself and not try to do things he's not capable of doing. I mean, there are certain things. He obviously has some weaknesses, but he has a lot of strengths, and as long as the coach and the team play to his strengths, they'll be fine. The only thing they really have to worry about, really for the rest of the season, is staying healthy. I mean, obviously they seem to be good enough to certainly make the playoffs. They may have the best record. We'll find that out as the season goes along. It's hard to keep winning every week. I mean, they're just gonna be weeks where the team isn't gonna play great. That's just how every team in the NFL seems to be for the most part. But they're going to be playing some of the better teams in the league. We'll see what they're made of. They certainly, as far as I'm concerned, I thought the Minnesota game was more. And I know Tom had a little thing on Facebook today about who he thought, what was the most impressive win. And I mean, I still think Minnesota was the most impressive win because you held a really good offense to 7 points. I mean, that's, you're talking about a team who has tremendous receivers and an outstanding running back, and you held that team to 7 points. Jacksonville, I don't know how good Jacksonville is. Who the heck knows with them? They're a strange team. They've shown some ability to be very, very good. They play in a dog crap division. Our division, meanwhile, has 3-1 teams. So maybe the Eagles division isn't as easy as everybody thinks it is. I mean, Dallas is 3-1 and the Giants are 3-1. And you can take whatever you want from that. But the fact is, I don't think too many people have the Giants at 3-1 this year at this point of the season. And Dallas, by losing Dak, I don't think too many people thought they'd end up being 3-1 at this point either. Yeah. So, take what you want. They're beating teams from other divisions. So that to me says something.
There's a great comment by our man Brian Daly. Joins Brad each and every week on the Hockey Happy Hour, which goes on, what's that, Tuesday at 8, Brad? Hockey Happy Hour?
8:30.
8:30?
Yes.
Jalen reminds me a little bit of Russ. I'm starting to see that a lot.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Uh,
They're very similar. I mean, Russ seems to always have that ability in a big spot to ratchet it up a notch, and Jalen's kind of been doing that too. So, they are similar.
Brian Daly, another dynamite comment right there. He slightly agrees to the poll, not once and for all yet, but he's proving that he is the guy as the weeks go by.
Yeah, you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time to make a decision about him. I would still wait and see how the league over the season adjusts to him and adjusts to the Eagle offense, and we'll see if they can or not, or if the Eagles are just too potent and too powerful, especially along the offensive line. But I think the only thing that could stand in their way right now is injuries. If they stay healthy, they're going to be very, very formidable this year, no question.
I will push back on Tommy a little bit. I thought yesterday was the more impressive win. I know Minnesota's a good team. They win again in London over the stinky Saints. But yesterday, I think the elements, the cold, the wind, and the rain, making a mistake early, throwing the pick, which was just a flat-out bad decision. It gets tipped and whatever, safety number 5 catches it, and he takes it to the house. So you go down 14-0 at home to what I think is a good football team. I think that's more impressive because you really didn't face it. Minnesota's good, but you didn't really face adversity in that football game. You kind of jumped on them early and you kept them down. Same with the Detroit. I know it got a little hairy there in the fourth quarter, but I never thought the Detroit game was in question. I never thought the Eagles were going to lose that football game.
Well, Detroit is really starting to prove what a lousy team they are.
I'm done talking up Detroit. Everyone who told me I was crazy for thinking Detroit was good, I will eat crow on that. Detroit is.
I told you they stink.
They're not
come
good.
On. 48
they absolutely
points
stink.
Geno Smith. I mean, I don't know. Did Russ play yesterday for Seattle, or what happened?
I don't know.
The Lions' offense is good, but their defense is just atrocious.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm sorry. If you score 45 points at home and lose, you stink.
Your defense
lose to Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking like if they did that against Buffalo or Kansas City, okay, you could understand. I mean, great quarterbacks, great receivers, great offenses. Okay, but to Seattle?
Yeah, I'm completely out on Detroit. They're the same Detroit as the Scott Mitchell, Barry Sanders Detroit, the same as the Matt Stafford Detroit, and now the Jared Goff, Dan Campbell Detroit. They're all the same. They all stink. I'm off that wagon hard.
I'll give Goff his well-deserved due for playing a heck of a game yesterday, but Detroit stinks. Their defense is just horrible. I mean, they were way behind Seattle. I think Seattle just kind of took their foot off the gas because Seattle had a big lead and let them get back in the game. And I think Detroit's good at that because it seems like when they have to score, they don't. It's when they get down a lot, then all of a sudden now they're scoring because the other team goes into prevent. So we'll see. But I don't think they're all that. I don't think they're all that at all. I think they're a lousy team still.
At this point, if you don't agree with the poll,
who cares? You've already beaten better teams than Detroit, and you've made your point defensively. Mm-hmm. You held a real good Minnesota team to 7 points.
Yep.
There's Greg Milakovic. He's hopping in. Check him out on Sunday night post-game shows with Agree to Disagree, and then A2D Wednesday night. Greg a part of that as well. At this point, if you don't agree with the poll, you're an a-hole. I mean, yeah, if you're going to sit here and criticize Jalen Hurts through 4 games when you're 4-0.
You're 4-0 and they're scoring they're scoring over 30 points a game. What do you want out of life?
But
I may not even have a quarterback on my team next week. God only knows.
Saquon will be the quarterback.
yeah, rolling Wildcat.
Well, Jones is hurt. Taylor's hurt. I don't know who's going to quarterback then. Taylor Webb next week. I mean, have you guys heard anything at all from
I heard
the
Webb.
Giants in the
I heard
NFL?
of Webb.
What the deal is with either one?
They don't know about the injuries yet, I guess. It's still Monday. It's still early for that, but
they got to go across the
Webb
pond
will be
next week and play the Packers. So you got to think they're going to drop that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's asking a lot for them to beat the Packers.
We'll get to that in early leans.
Yeah, that's asking a lot. But
talk about the rest of the league. But I mean, how about the defense? Remember when I was preaching patience for Jonathan Gannon and this defense after everyone was freaking out after week 1? Give them a chance. Let them knock the rust off. Let them establish themselves. And it's been smooth sailing ever since. They lead the NFL in sacks. They have 5 turnovers yesterday. Hassan Reddick, amazing what Hassan Reddick can do when you just let him rush the passer and not have him cover running backs and tight ends. He gets a couple sacks yesterday. He gets a couple strip sacks, forces a couple turnovers. First-round pick Jordan Davis is just an absolute menace. James Bradberry coming from your New York Giants. That James Bradberry pick was something else. That was a huge play.
Yeah,
because the Eagles were up. I think it was 20-14. Jags were going in, and James Bradberry reads Trevor Lawrence like a book. Trevor Lawrence makes a little bit of a rookie mistake, lofting the ball way too much, and Bradberry comes off his ball and gets a pick, and that changed the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point in the game where, okay, sitting down there, get the pick, everyone's excited, it's a great play, and that's the point in the game where I say, okay, they got this.
Well, that's just an experienced defensive back who's been in the league a long time, watching a rookie kind of staring down his receiver and knowing where he's going to go with the ball and making a big time interception at the right time. I mean, that's basically what happened there, and he seems to be fitting in very well with the Eagles. So I mean, good for him. He's a guy. He plays hard, and what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Charles Marion. What I would say about that is James Bradberry did suck last year. Okay, he put forth no effort last year. So you know what? If he only wants to play for a good team, then good for him. But he should have been playing hard last year, which he didn't. He was a dog last year. So regardless of how good he is with the Eagles, he was a dog when he was with the Giants last season. No question.
Wayne Miller chiming in on Facebook. I agree with the poll with caution. Fact is, he is definitely improving consistently. John Malmos, injuries and special teams. I mean, okay, you get a little banged up. Slay leaves the game. Josiah Scott, number 33. Evan McPherson, who I think is a really good player, number 27 in green, quarterback, long, athletic, out of Texas Tech. I don't think he's a rookie. I think he's a second-year guy.
Second year, yep.
But, I mean, if you want to look at, if you want to build a corner in a lab, that's what you want. Long, lean, tall, athletic, pretty good ball skills, does a good job on special teams. Really saved the game against Detroit with that ill-advised onside kick that they attempted. McPherson wasn't fooled at all, jumped right on the ball, very heads-up play, and really stopped the Lions' momentum right in its tracks. Ryan Swoops in the house. His signature chapter book comments here. Love you, Ryan. 1 out of 2 on the poll. My heart says yes. We live by our feelings. When we see something great, happy, we want to jump off a bridge, especially Philadelphia fans. 1 minute high, 1 minute low. Something's going great, but once something goes bad, do a complete 360. I mean,
that's all fans. I hate to say
welcome to being a fan, unless you want to be like a Midwest Yoko that just thinks everything's great all the time. We're passionate people, but I will say I don't see
Northeast fans are the most passionate of all sports fans in this country. Yep. We know that. That's That's pretty obvious. And maybe Seattle fans, I'll give them that because
Yep.
they're pretty good too.
Who will be the first casualty in NFL coaches from John Malmos? Dan Campbell's seat's getting pretty warm, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Nathaniel Hackett, I mean, they lost to the Raiders yesterday. But that was all hands on deck for the Raiders. I don't really fault Denver for losing that game. He can't be 0-4.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of
And
my
the
bets.
Raiders are not that bad.
That was one of my bets yesterday.
Yeah, they've lost some. They've had some excruciating losses this year.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan Campbell, his seat's getting hot. Other than that, like Nathaniel Hackett, he's not getting fired. So you got to look at
maybe Pete Carroll, but after they won yesterday, I don't think so.
Pete Carroll may just get up.
Coordinator will.
I could see Pete Carroll just waking up one morning and being like, "Yeah, I'm good, guys. I'm going to retire." Could happen tomorrow. Could happen next week. Could happen next month. Could happen at the end of the season.
I think he'll retire at the end of the season.
Matt Rule. Matt Rule's going to get canned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be this week, or next month, or whatever. He ain't making it through the season. Reports on the internet are indicating that he may have lost the locker room. Baker Mayfield looks like trash. There's just not a lot of talent there in Carolina, and it looks like they're going to have a rough season.
Mm-hmm.
Picked them to be the 7th seed. I thought he was going to be a great coach in the NFL, but
I mean, some coaches, like most coaches, are good coaches. They just don't have a team. Like the Panthers don't have a great team. They have an okay.
He doesn't pick the players. The GM does.
Yeah,
and he keeps bringing him in garbage quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hear you on that, and I totally agree. But you can't be in the top 10 3 years in a row and keep your job. It's just not how this league works.
No, probably not.
But yeah, Matt Rule, he's getting canned, and he's a good college coach. He did good things at Temple. He did good things at Baylor. So maybe that's coaching the kids and recruiting, picking the groceries, as Bill Parcells would say, on the recruiting trail. Maybe that's more his thing. I'm sure there's a lot of college programs that would love to have Matt Rule as their football coach. But,
I'm sure there are. Look, some guys just aren't cut out to coach in the NFL. Urban Meyer, first, Spurrier. I remember Steve Spurrier. There are a few guys. That we could.
Chip was a disaster.
Chip Kelly wasn't a good coach in the NFL. I mean, sometimes these college coaches are just Ray Perkins, who coached Alabama and then went and coached the Giants, and he was terrible.
Saban might be the greatest college coach ever. He couldn't hack it in the pros.
Nope. It's different. It's different with kids than it is with grown men.
Dylan Usher, check us out on the book. Sup, gentlemen. Hope all is well. I agree with Paul. I think Hurts has shown he's matured. It can lead this team. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Friel. Maybe the Eagles and the Giants can work out a little trade before Sunday. You can have Gardner Minshew, the mustache.
Yep. First round pick only.
First round pick for him.
Yeah,
Done
right.
deal.
I don't think the Giants are doing that.
He has the playbook too.
I think they'll roll with Davis Webb unless somebody, one of those two guys is able to play. I don't know about if Jones is. I don't know how serious his injury is. I'm really doubting Tyrod's going to be ready on Sunday. I mean, that was
Tyrod's got the concussion, and obviously,
and I don't understand how you can you could spear a guy like that and get away with it. I know he put himself in a vulnerable position, but the guy who hit him was headhunting. He was trying to create a fumble, and there's no question about that. And he should have been penalized. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that somebody would hit a quarterback like that in the head. He was if you're going to tell me he wasn't aiming for his head, you're dead wrong. Because I watched that play a couple of times. That was just ridiculous.
And I think there's going to be extreme caution across the league with these head injuries, even if you're cleared by the independent neurologist and pass all the tests. Belichick said, like, yeah, Hoyer, he wasn't going back in. I don't care what tests he passed. He wasn't going in. We're being careful with head injuries. And that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart because me and
You don't
John
want to risk
Foyle, we were at the
You don't want to risk somebody's life.
yeah,
God
we were
sakes.
at the golf outing in the summer at the draft, not the summer, at the draft in the spring with the NFL Players Association, the alumni golf outing, and it's a real thing that these guys aren't right after they play 10, 15, 8 years in the league after getting hit in the head for
Was
that
that
many
what the
times.
German guy was talking about?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
our
talking
boy,
about CTE and all that. Yeah, I remember that.
But, and Tua, thank God, Dolphins finally wisen up. They already ruled him out against the Jets on Sunday. So Teddy Two Gloves will be in there against the Jets. David Cook Jr., he likes the Giants coach. He likes Dable. I like Dable too.
I think Dable seems like a pretty good coach.
Uh,
He's coaching the team the way it should be coached. Trying to make them a run team. A run team. They don't. They just. I think Jones has actually played pretty well this year, and he's earned a lot of respect from me the way he's playing. But he has nobody to throw to.
No, and that Shepard injury. Kenny Galladay. What a waste of money that was.
Yeah, he's a disaster.
Tooney.
Until Wan'Dale Robinson plays, and if what's his name?
Tooney, Kadarius Tooney's a first-round pick. He's never on the field either.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney decides to go out in the field and play. Right now, those are the two guys they need to get out on the field and play.
Hassan Reddick, he's probably going to be NFL Defensive Player of the Week from Bob Brinkman. That's 3 weeks in a row. An Eagle will be the NFL Defensive Player of the Week. Slay was week 2 on Monday night with his outstanding performance. Brandon Graham tossed Carson around a couple times. He earned that honor in week 3. And then you got to think it's going to be Reddick in week 4. That's 3 weeks in a row. And Eagle will be a Defensive Player of the Week. I don't have the record books in front of me, but, that's got to be some sort of record.
Yeah. I'd say
Well,
so.
we'll see if somebody of the Rams happens to or 49ers happens to be tonight.
It's certainly possible because the San Francisco 49ers are going to be without all-pro left tackle Trent Williams. He's out with an ankle injury, so doors open for the Rams to get some pressure on
you would
stinky
think that
Jimmy G.
You would think that who is going to line up in that spot every time, Mr. Donald. He's just going to go right where that left tackle position is, and whoever's backing up is going to be playing against him half the time.
They're getting ready to kick the ball on Monday Night Football. We have predictions, statements about the Monday Night Football game. Pretty big game there in the NFC West.
Defensive.
I think it's a must win for the 49ers, to be honest with you.
Our Monday Night Football, little Monday Night Football preview here. Looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change in career brokerage. Contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty, 302-682-8820. There's his email address right there. Tell him the Hound sent you. Tell him A2D Radio sent you. He'll get you squared away in the rough housing market. He'll guide you to your dream home.
By the way, guys, I just want to let you know Tony Larussa has announced his retirement.
That's correct. I think the only reason the White Sox aren't in the playoffs are because of him.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And the Phillies and Braves both have magic numbers of 1.
That Phillies also getting ready to toss the ball, so they need to win one of 3 or have the Brewers lose. And you
know what? The Brewers are pathetic. For crying out loud. How do you lose? The Phillies basically went out and said, "Here, guys, we don't really want to be in the playoffs. Take our spot. Go ahead, just take the spot. We don't really want to be here." And they said, "Oh, no, hold my beer. We're going to lose 3 out of 4 to the Marlins."
And the Marlins, they're pests.
Yep.
Yeah, they stink.
They're the Redskins of the MLB.
No, if you want to make the playoffs, you cannot lose 3 out of 4 to the Marlins at home. My God, that's terrible.
I do have a slight lean on the Niners tonight. Don't feel good about it. I'm not betting the game. I'm not playing the game. It's a rather low over-under. I think it's 42.5. I don't
know if they'll get to 42.5.
I guess under. Stafford hasn't really gotten going yet. No one seems to have an answer for Cooper Kupp. But, I mean, for whatever reason, the Niners own this football team. Except for the NFC title game last year where the Rams did get outplayed and did have a significant lead in the fourth quarter. The Rams were able to get it done and get themselves a championship. So when the chips were down, the Rams got them. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan, he seems to have Sean McVay's number. Reddick, there's Reddick, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recovery.
No, it's going to take quite an effort for somebody to outdo that. That's mighty impressive.
According to Bob Brinkman, only one other player has done that in NFL history.
Yeah, I think.
Wonder who it was.
I think Mr. Bob is absolutely correct.
I bet you it was Seth. I bet you it was Seth Joyner. That'd be my guess on the other one, another Eagle. Maybe it was J.J. Watt or something. Who knows? Jared Allen. There you go, Bob, right on the spot. Jared Allen. Excellent pass rusher. Ryan Swoop, he loved Nick Saban at LSU, but once he lied and did that to the Dolphins and went to Alabama, I've disliked him ever since. If he didn't lie to the Dolphins and left without promise, I wouldn't dislike him. Shouldn't have lied. I mean, he was just overmatched in the pros. Didn't he coach Atlanta too?
That
just
I don't remember.
No, that idiot Bobby Petrino coached Atlanta, and he bailed on that. He was another college coach that was a disaster in the pros, Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, and the coach of Rutgers.
Yeah, Schiano, he didn't fare too well.
Schiano was a disaster with Tampa Bay.
Anthony Colon, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think we are going to be 6-0 before the bye. What do you guys think? They sure have a great chance to make the bye at 6-0.
Let's beat the Cardinals first before we start talking about 6-0.
I'm not worried about the game, and I'm not worried about next week in the least. I think they're going to go out to Arizona. I think they're going to put pressure on Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray is going to make mistakes, and I just don't think that that's a very good football team. I don't see next week being a problem for the Eagles. Then you got a showdown, prime time, Sunday Night Football at the Link with the 3-1 Dallas Cowboys, who have a menacing defense. We'll see if Cooper Rush can keep it up. Who doesn't look all that bad, Cooper Rush.
He doesn't look outclassed.
He doesn't. Sometimes backups go in, and it's just like, all right.
That's what I mean. I mean, he doesn't look outclassed. He seems to have a pretty good idea what he wants to do. So
I don't think 6-0 is out of the question.
Well, it certainly is. It's definitely not. I mean, they're looking good right now. So
I did have some injuries in yesterday's football game. Jake Elliott got hurt. Darius Slay got hurt. Jordan Mailata got hurt. Sua, the guard, or Semalu got hurt, starting guard. So we got some things to see, but I think that too bad Jimmy's not here. He'd be telling me how good the Eagles roster is, but I mean, he's right. I mean, they can withstand injuries, and I don't think all those guys are going to miss the game on Sunday. And as long as Jalen Hurts keeps not making mistakes and he plays a relatively clean game like he's been doing, I don't think this Arizona game is going to be an issue at all.
I don't think it's going to be a pushover. I think they're going to get a good fight from Arizona. Arizona's been playing pretty well the last couple of weeks.
I mean, they're a weird team because, like, they're dead in the water for 3 quarters, and then Kyler is good enough to flip a switch and has good fourth quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, but I think they just outclass the Cardinals next week. I'm not really worried about
it.
I think
if the game was in Philly, it would be a slaughter. But I think down there, I think it's going to be a tough game for the Eagles. I think they'll win, but it's good. It's not going to be easy.
And we have rumors. I'm going to check it right now. That the Phillies are.
Yep, it's true.
Rocking and rolling. What, Schwartz goes yard, leading off. Oh, my God, if this offense can get hot, if this offense could just get hot. They scored 8 yesterday. They're off to a good start tonight, but the magic number's 1. You have the tiebreaker. So if you what that means, the magic number is if the Phillies win a game or if the Brewers lose a game, the Brewers are playing the Diamondbacks, and they are facing Zach Gallen tomorrow. So
good luck with that. They couldn't score off of any Miami pitchers. Now they're gonna. It's funny. The only game they won was the game Sandy Alcantara pitched.
Yeah. I saw
Because
that.
the Marlins refused to score runs for him.
Yeah, Marlins, they don't really score
true.
runs for anyone.
They don't score runs for anybody, really. But I mean, they really don't score runs for him.
Did they pitch Nola tonight?
I think they did. I mean, he was scheduled to pitch.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure.
I'd like to see what the line what if at the Astros are putting out who they're putting out tonight to play. That should be an interesting situation.
But yeah, Phillies up 1-0. Like let's just go into the third inning up like 7-0, up 7-1. Cruise it out. Then you can do whatever. You're clinched up. You can rest whoever. You can set up your rotation. And it looks like it's going to be the Cardinals in St. Louis for 3.
Okay, so McCullers pitching for the Astros.
Nice. Yep.
And let's see. I'm just looking to see. Here's the Astros lineup for anybody who cares about these sort of things. Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, Gurriel, Mancini, Myers, and Maldonado.
So full slate.
That is pretty much their team, folks. So they're not playing the I'm going to rest everybody game like some teams do.
Well, it's tricky, Brad, because they do have a bye. So they're going to have almost a week off before they play competitive baseball again. So
no, I think listen, I think you should be playing. I think your players should be playing.
The rust debate will be in full form.
I mean, maybe the last game of the season.
The Yankees, they're clinched up, correct?
Yes, they can't go any higher. They can't go any lower. They have, unless 100 games really means anything to them, which I don't know that it does. They really don't have much to play for at this point, other than Judge getting number 62.
And then, the National League, the only team I'm really terrified of is the Mets, who aren't playing well. And the only reason I'm terrified of the Mets is because the Phillies haven't hit DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett, or any of those pitchers all year long. They won the season series against the Dodgers. They won the season series against the Cardinals. They won the season series. I'm not sure what they've done against the Padres, but I don't think the Padres are getting past the first round.
Well, the Cardinals now are. I think Pujols just hit another home run, so that's 5 and 8 games.
That's unbelievable. That would be such a great story if they were able to win. I have World Series bets on the Cardinals and the Phillies. So if one of those two teams win,
they got to be long shots.
Got around. Cardinals is a real long shot. That was before the season. I did the Phillies when they were hot in the middle of the season when they had all those injuries and were winning all those games against bad teams. Sort of a homer bet, but whatever. They're in the dance. Okay. I got a shot.
The one issue the Mets are having right now is they don't have Marte, and that's really hurting them offensively. They've really missed him.
Oh well.
No, I'm just saying. That's
Oh well. I mean,
I don't know how long. I'm not a Met fan, so I can't tell you how long.
Yeah,
he's
I'm never
out.
going to shed a tear for the New York Mets.
No, just mentioning that he I don't know if he's going to be ready for the playoffs, but they don't look like the same offense to me without him.
Monday Night Football underway. Rams didn't get the ball first. Cooper Kupp doing his thing. They're moving the ball. Should be a fun game here on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I look for the Rams. I look for the Rams to win this game. The 49ers are having a lot of trouble scoring points this season. I mean, their offense.
What Jimmy G is going to show up? Like, is he going to be the Jimmy G that wins playoff games, or is he going to be the Jimmy G that runs out of the end zone and makes his team lose because he wasn't paying attention and gets a safety?
That's
I don't know.
That's a good question. And listen, they're all, offensively they've been struggling. Now I think the Rams are due to break out. Now the 49ers do have a tremendous defense. And we all know that, but how long can they be out on the field? If the 49ers can't move the ball, the Rams will certainly pound them with the running attack, and wear them down. I just think that it's probably too much to ask. I mean, is Samuel playing, or is he hurt
He's
again?
in.
He's in. What
They're
about
in.
Kittle?
Everyone except Trent Williams is playing.
Okay.
They had a couple guys questionable on defense. I didn't quite catch if any of those guys were out, but Cooper Kupp is just doing his thing. He's got 2 catches already on the first drive. Looks like the Rams are going up tempo here.
He's unstoppable.
It's amazing, these receivers in the league. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Jefferson, A.J. Brown. I'll even put him in that category, playing terrific.
Yeah, there are some real good receivers right now.
And, you can't do anything. Tyreek
Don't
Hill,
forget
I'll put in that
Justin.
list.
Don't forget Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs,
Tyreek Diggs, Hill.
I mean, who do you take out of all those receivers? I mean, they're all sensational receivers. I don't know who you would want more.
Whoever tackles the guy when there's a run back.
Yeah.
Rams are cooking, moving the ball well. I love this up tempo with the Rams. Yeah, they're down a couple offensive linemen themselves. I think they got to get Cam Akers going, I think. A little better. Darnell Henderson, pretty good back, but Cam Akers he could be special. I think they need to establish some balance with Cam Akers here, especially against a really good defense in the Niners. There's the Rams under center. No one's under center. There's a play fake boot. Uh-oh. Fumble. I guess he was down. But yeah, let's get to some of these other games around the league talk. Brought to you by Gleason's Bar and Grill, 6700 Mill Creek Road in Levittown, Pennsylvania. A2D promo code that gets you 10% off. Best cheesesteaks in Buck County. That promo code for 10% off. Dine in, take out, online, whatever you want. Gleason's Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. Excuse me. Very good place. If you're ever in the area, definitely go check them out. But, God, I think the biggest takeaway, there's a lot of takeaways that you can take away. But the Bills, we talked about last week how they can't win close games. And they go into Baltimore, and they beat the Ravens.
That was an unbelievable comeback.
They're down 20-3. They win the football game. I'm not sure what John Harbaugh was doing on that 4th and goal with about 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Seems like you should just take the points there, especially at home. But
well, you know what? I don't think he trusted his defense.
They get takeaways,
Honestly.
but they give up yards. That Marlon Humphrey, he's got a couple interceptions so far. But, yeah, this is not a vintage Ravens defense by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and I think he forced the issue because I think that he had no confidence in his team being able to stop Josh Allen in the second half. I mean, Buffalo is one of those teams. Once they get it rolling, they're really hard to stop. I mean, sometimes they'll get into a funk for 2 or 3 series, but I mean, once they get going, they're tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the problem is Allen is not your typical running quarterback. Okay. He's a bruising runner. He doesn't when he runs, he hurts the other team. He doesn't hurt himself. He hurts the other team. It's not like, say, Daniel Jones, who's always getting hurt when he runs, or RG3 or some of these other guys. He's a punishing runner. And that's what separates him from, in my opinion, from all the other quarterbacks in the league, is that he's very hard to tackle. Unless you can hit him from behind, it's very hard to tackle him one-on-one. He's so big and strong, and he's fast.
We got a quarterback change in Pittsburgh. Mitchell Trubisky, he's going to hit the bench. First-round pick Kenny Pickett going to get the start. next
Thought
week.
he looked pretty good. I thought he looked pretty good against the Jets. Just the Steelers, just as usual, give it up late, and the Jets, who've had two crazy road games, come back in the at the end with game-winning drives. I mean, this is twice they've done that with two different quarterbacks.
I didn't catch who the Steelers play next week.
I think they play Buffalo, so they're going to get slaughtered in that game.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NFL, kid. You're
The
playing Josh Allen.
Steelers next like 5 games. I think it was us, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Dolphins or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, you get a little break with probably Teddy Two Gloves playing for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, but that Miami defense is still really good.
They're a good football team.
I feel like they're going to pick it up. I think if the line stays okay enough, I guess. But he's going to get killed if not, because all these defenses are really good that he's playing.
Yeah,
They're all
it's
top 10, I think.
going to be tough. So now Aaron Judge is going to be leading it off for the Yankees in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that. I hope he gets it. I really do. He seems like a good guy. He'd be a good guy to have in the American League record books.
Listen, how can you not love a guy who gets the 61st home run ball, and who does he give it to? His mom.
Yeah, I mean, he's everything you want in a franchise player and the face of your franchise.
Yep. I mean, and he's very humble for such a good player.
Rams are on the board. 39-yard field goal attempt is good by Matt Gay. Rams take a 3-0 lead on Monday Night Football. How about the Patriots, guys? I know they lost yesterday.
They gave the Packers one hell of a scare.
Mm-hmm.
How about Frank's boy from Western Kentucky, Bailey Zappi?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look overmatched. He looked the part.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick wouldn't give him a chance at the end of the game. He kind of got conservative and lost the game because he was just too conservative.
But I mean, the Patriots, they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. They're very physical up front. That offensive line is no joke.
Yeah, but they're now 1-3. So what do we do now with them? Now I think next week. Well, Miami plays the Jets. I don't know who the Patriots play next week.
We'll get to it in early leans for sure.
Yeah.
Breaking news: preseason NBA basketball. Sixers are playing the Brooklyn Nets. Ben Simmons is playing basketball on the floor.
Yeah, and his first basket was a jam. And I heard he acted like a jackass after he jammed it.
Is that at the Wells Fargo
Then he missed
Center?
2 free throws after that. So
Is that at the Wells Fargo Center?
No.
No, it's in Brooklyn.
It's in Brooklyn.
Yep.
So he avoids Philadelphia once again. Look, basketball and hockey, they're coming quick.
Hockey is starts a week from this Tuesday. A week from tomorrow. That's going to be very interesting. I tell you what, interesting Ranger game, first game. Home for Tampa Bay. And Judge gets a check swing single.
I hope he gets it. He's got 3 games left. Ben Simmons still can't shoot free throws. Ryan Swoop, how good is the Eagles' offensive line?
It's pretty good.
What's better in each of your guys' eyes, the pass protection or the run protection? I mean, they're a complete offensive line. And by the way, Lane Johnson is one of the better tackles of this generation. I know he plays right tackle and not left tackle, so he doesn't get the love he deserves, but he goes up against elite pass rushers each and every week, and they don't do diddly squat against them. So I'm going to start it right now. Lane Johnson to Canton. I don't have much respect for the Football Hall of Fame or Hall of Fames in general, but Lane Johnson and say Jason Kelsey as well, they belong in Canton.
Kelsey, yes. I don't know about Lane Johnson, and the only reason I say that, and I'm not saying it's being anti-Eagle, I just don't know because he did get popped for steroids, so I just don't know if that's gonna hurt him.
I think twice. I think
I know about once. I don't know about twice, but
Yeah,
I mean,
because he got a
even once.
4-gamer back when it was 4 games, and then he got a 12-gamer, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to hurt him as far as the Hall of Fame, but that doesn't take away from how good he is. I'm
Mhm.
just saying I don't know about the Hall. He's definitely a Hall of Fame level player. But
Uh,
you know how that goes. It depends. You have to grease the right bombs and be a slug like David Ortiz to get into the Hall of Fame when you do steroids.
Yep.
And I don't know that he's a scumbag like David Ortiz is. So
Joseph Rakowski, Ben Simmons, 4 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, a minus 16 so far. I wouldn't put too much stock in the minus 16. I don't know who's playing. I'm sure Durant's not playing. I'm sure Kyrie Irving's not
They're
playing.
both playing.
Who is?
They're both playing.
They're both
Kyrie
playing.
and
I mean,
yeah.
what? I mean, I'm
They
not going
played
to,
a lot
even
of
though I love crushing Ben Simmons because he's a little kitty cat, I'm not going to crush anyone over preseason basketball.
Yeah.
Sorry. And, like, if the Nets coexist and play up to their potential, they're going to be a good basketball team. They're going to win a lot of games just based on pure talent.
Mhm.
Whether they can get along with the coach and get along with the GM and be a harmonious batch of lads,
that's a
we'll
good
see.
question. They've got some rather strong personalities on that team. Would you say?
Limit CCOD. This guy is a Ben Simmons apologist. No, I'm not a Ben Simmons apologist. I'm not a Ben Simmons apologist at all. All you have to do is roll the tape on
Wait,
that.
is he saying you are a Ben Simmons apologist?
I mean, I gave the guy every chance imaginable, as did most of this Philadelphia fan base.
I think that you've bashed him plenty, so I don't agree with that at
So
all.
no one in Philadelphia is a Ben Simmons apologist. I mean, like I gave him more chances than most, I will say, but the guy's a loser. It's
Yep.
like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a loser. Like some guys are just losers. He has all the talent. He's excellent talent. Has everything you would want in a basketball player, but he's just a spoiled brat who got everything handed to him his whole life.
Yep.
And that's that. Ben Simmons got benched and the Nets came back. Like, cool. I am very bullish on the Sixers this year. If you want to get into some basketball, I'm very bullish on the Sixers. I think they're 16-1 on whatever sports book, depending on what sports book you look at. I love them to win the championship this year. I really do. I'm picking them to win the championship. It's kind of like if they're not going to do it this year, when are they going to do it?
You're starting to be like me with Rob. You're starting to be like me with the Tampa Bay Lightning now.
Mhm.
You just keep picking them.
Did I pick the Sixers to win the championship last year? I don't think I've ever picked the Sixers to win the championship.
That's like every fan with the Bills, I think. They're always picking the Bills. It was the last 3 years the Bills were almost favored.
But like this
Well,
year,
year was the first year I picked them to win a championship.
Mhm.
I think they should have won the championship last year.
Yeah.
Except that the coach screwed up the kickoff.
Ryan Swoop 51 wins for the Sixers. Like, sure, I don't really care how many, as long as you're not in that play-in tournament and you're in the top 6 and Joe's healthy, I'm picking the Sixers to win the championship. I don't know what's going on in Boston. I don't know who's coaching the team. I don't know what kind of distractions that's going to cause. Milwaukee's very good.
You think it's a possibility that Stevens might just go back down and coach him this year?
Possible. That's probably their best case scenario, honestly. Brad Stevens is a very good basketball coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. I mean, he's the GM, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, he could be coaching GM. Why not? They used to do it all the time back in the day.
Mhm.
He just needs a really good staff around him to help him out with the GM thing. But the coaching, he could certainly coach them, and they'd be extremely effective with him as a coach.
And then, the Nets are a wild card. Durant and Irving, if their heads are on straight, that's a dynamic duo. And if Ben can, Miami's good. 2 upstart teams that I like in the East are the Pistons, and I love the Cavs. That's my Eastern Conference Finals right here. The Sixers over the Cavs. Let's go.
Wow.
Cavs get Donovan Mitchell, in case you're not up to speed. So they got Garland, they got Mitchell. They got Evan Mobley underneath.
Yeah, they're pretty loaded.
And they have great role players like Jared Allen, Curtis LeVert, and Kevin Love and guys like that. So I like that team.
They still got Kevin Love on their payroll?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
my
signed
God.
up. Yeah, he's making like max money still. Come off the bench.
They want him going.
Here's everything you need to know about how Vegas thinks about the Eagles. FanDuel is offering cash out double your bet for the Super Bowl. So if you bet $25 on the Eagles before the season to win the Super Bowl, they're offering you a $50 buyout to get out of it, so they don't have to pay out thousands and thousands of dollars potentially, because the Eagles appear to be the class of the NFC, and it's exciting and it's great to watch. The Philly sports with Bake, my prediction for Jalen is his ceiling is a smaller Cam Newton. Now Cam isn't on a team now, but Cam was an MVP and was a pretty good player. Yeah. I mean, I think Brian Daly at the top of the show comparing him to Russ was a more fair comparison. And Kyler Murray, I think that's a fair comparison too, even though Kyler Murray is just a space case and you just never know what you're going to get. He's like the box of chocolates of the NFL. Anything else in terms of week 4 reactions in the NFL?
How about the Giants going 3-1?
I mean, the Bears suck, but they took care of business. They're 3-1.
They kept them out of the end zone, which is something to talk about. I mean, the Giants' defense has given up as many points as you guys, believe it or not.
They're playing good football defensively.
Their defense has played well. I'm just really concerned about who's going to be the quarterback next week.
I think if they can do something special and go over to across the pond to England and beat the Packers, I think then we're going to be. I think then we can talk about the Giants as
it's going to be. It's going to yeah,
as
but who's going to be playing quarterback?
I don't know. Saquon. Hopefully, Daniel Jones can play. What happened to Daniel Jones?
He messed up his ankle. He has an ankle injury. We don't know how bad it is, but he came out of the game and they put in Tyrod Taylor, and then when Tyrod Taylor got hurt, Barkley was the quarterback for a while, and then eventually they put Daniel Jones back in just so they could hand the ball off to Barkley. But they wouldn't let Daniel Jones. They wouldn't even let Daniel Jones throw the ball after he hurt his ankle.
Yeah, we touched on that about
Daniel Jones was having a spectacular game yesterday. I mean, he really looked good. They were running this play where they were fake. They were running to the right, where Jones was running to his right, and then faking the handoff, and then reversing field and going to his left, and the Bears fell for it about 5 or 6 times in a row, and they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. He ended up having, I think, like 65, 70 yards before he ended up getting hurt, and on one of those runs. And I don't know what the deal is with him. And the same thing kind of happened with Taylor. He did he did the same play and had big yardage, and then he got smacked.
a big run from Jeff Wilson there on Monday Night Football. Niners take the lead 6-3. Extra point pending. 32-yard run for Jeff Wilson. They scheme so well in San Francisco. They just scheme so well. Doesn't matter who it is. I guess that's Kittle there with the big block. Or the backup tight. I don't even know who that is, but 6-3, hopefully 7-3 Niners. It was an 8-play drive. Jimmy G not making any mistakes thus far. First quarter almost over in San Fran. There it is, extra point, 7-3 Niners lead. Joe, we talked about that a little bit at the top of the show too, about the NFC East, supposed to be the second worst division in football. They have 2 3-1 teams and 1 4-0 team. Certainly an improving division. I think the NFC South is rather awful.
Garbage.
I think the AFC South is not very good either.
Too.
There's another good comment by Joe there. Uh, AFC West, a little overrated maybe. Chiefs are rolling. I think the Chargers are going to be fine with Herbert. I do. And the Raiders, I think, are going to get their wins. Whether it's good enough to make the playoffs, I'm not sure. Denver, I don't know what to make of Denver. They lose their young running back, Javonte Williams. He tears his ACL. Melvin Gordon also banged up. We'll see. Russ.
Yeah, but they have Russ, and Russ has that it factor. In a close game, it seems like he can always find a way to beat you.
All right, let's get to early leans. A way to early preview of next week's games, week 5. Action here. We're brought to you by All Campus down on the Ocean City Boardwalk. Proud sponsor of the Ramp Booth each and every Sunday. Each and every Sunday pregame show with Jimmy Rodweiler, John Coyle. You get 20% off the show. Just become an A2D member, $9.99 a month. Special perks, appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, and weekly sports pick from both Willie Vegas and the Money Pot podcast. Daniel Jones looks to be one of the goofiest. Has one of the goofy looks. His face looks like he's always sad or confused. He's got him 3-1. Wins are all that matters in this league.
I think he's played really well, guys. I know you don't watch much of the Giants. You watch the Eagles, and I get that, but I think he's been pretty good this year. I'm not unhappy with his play. I just hope to God he's not hurt. And he starts missing games, because that's just if he starts missing games again, they're going to have to find a new quarterback, because you can't have your quarterback getting hurt every season. That can't happen in the NFL.
All right, so Evan will be back with us shortly. He reestablishes connection. But let's look at week 5. I think we have 4 weeks of data. I think that's enough to kind of at least have some semblance of how the league's going to play out from here out. Who looks good, who looks bad. Obviously, this league is most parity of any professional sport, so things can change on a dime. We got a real snoozer on Thursday night. Amazon Prime game. The Indianapolis Colts are heading to Denver. Denver's laying 3.5. I like Denver all day here, Brad. At home. They're very good at home.
Yes, they are.
Russ is way better than Matt Ryan. And the Colts, they just stink. Also, Jonathan Taylor went down with a high ankle sprain on Sunday. So,
they're dead.
We'll see if he can play on Thursday, but high ankle sprains are extremely tricky. Obviously,
high ankle sprains usually are a 2 to 3 week injury at least.
Obviously, he's the straw that stirs the drink in Indianapolis. Everything goes through him. So if he can't go, that's a huge loss. I have no problem laying the 3.5 when it comes to the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. None. We got another London game. Giants heading across the pond against the Green Bay Packers. Brad, this is a whopping 7.5 point line. Obviously, the Giants are dogs.
Well, I'll tell you what. I just checked the situation with Jones. He has a sprained ankle, no broken bones. They do not say if it's a high ankle sprain or what exactly it is. And they have him. They said if they made an injury list right now, he'd be questionable. So,
he's going to. If he can walk, he's going to play. You got to think.
If Davis Webb is the quarterback, that may not be enough. But I think the Giants' defense will keep them in that game. So if assuming Jones plays, I would take the 7.5.
I'm waiting for the Aaron Rodgers game where he just goes scorched earth and just toward. I know the Giants have a good defense and they're playing well, but I'm just waiting for him to get on the same page with Lazard and Cobb and Dobbs and Watson and some of these young receivers, and they have 2 outstanding running backs.
Yes, they do.
So, I don't know. I don't like these London games.
It's going to be tough. I mean, I think as far as the Giants are concerned, they're lucky they're not playing the game in Lambeau because they would get smoked in Lambeau. Playing it in England, I think, is an advantage for them.
We talked about this game a little bit already. The Steelers are heading to Buffalo. Welcome to the NFL, Kenny Pickett. You're playing Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills on the road. The line is 14, Brad.
That's a lot.
I don't like.
I'm
always going to take any double-digit line. I'm going to hop all over.
I don't like games like that. But I mean, if you're giving me 14 points, I got to take the 14 points.
I agree. It's probably a no play, stay away game. But if I had to pick it, I would take the 14. It's a lot. It's pro football.
Yeah, it is. And
they still have Najee Harris. They still have Deontay Johnson, Freiermuth, Minka Fitzpatrick.
Pickett may have a good first half, and Buffalo may not figure out how to stop him until the second half. So he could keep them in it.
And Kenny Pickett might be probably, at least the Steelers think that he's going to be an upgrade over Mitchell Trubisky.
That doesn't take much.
So we'll see.
I've never been a fan of his. By the way, Luis Severino right now for the Yankees is pitching a no-hitter through 6 innings.
There you go. You just jinxed him. Good job.
Well, I felt it was my responsibility as a journalist to say that. I mean, I didn't want to say anything after 5 innings, but after 6, it deserves a mention. I don't know if they're gonna how far they're gonna pitch him. I doubt that Boone would let him go 9 innings, but that's very good news for the Yankees going into the postseason. So I think you look at them with Cole, Severino, and Cortez. That's a pretty good threesome.
AFC East, big rivalry. Jets heading to MetLife to take on the Jets. Jets getting
Miami.
3 at home here.
Miami.
Miami is Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the quarterback on Sunday.
I haven't heard that Tua's out. I heard that
he's out. Yeah.
He is out. Okay.
Yeah, they ruled him out today.
Okay. I mean, I would listen. You know, the Jets are such a sucker bet. Every time you bet on them, they lose, and every time you bet against them, they cover. That's a no play for me.
Evan back with us. Evan Taylor back with us. Going through the games next week, we got we're on the Dolphins and the Jets. Jets a 3-point home dog. Thoughts?
I just think the defense for the Dolphins too much for the Jets. I think. I mean, they got Zach Wilson back, which is definitely I don't even know what to call it. I mean, it's kind of offsetting. They had Joe Flacco in there, who's retirement age, and some young kid that likes to.
Give me the Jets +3 here.
Yeah.
Don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
But maybe those poor Jets fans can get something going here. You win this. The winner of this game is going to be 3-2.
Well, Miami
was 1-3, and Buffalo is obviously the runaway favorite in the East. But this is kind of a big game in the AFC East landscape and the AFC wildcard standpoint.
Mm.
So I'll take the home dog. I'll nibble on the home dog here with the Jets. Here's my favorite team to bet on in the whole league, the Atlanta Falcons. They're a cover machine.
Cover every week.
They're a cover machine. 4-0 against the spread. Marcus Mariota. They're going to Tampa. They're getting 8 against the Buccaneers.
I think
the party might be over for my cover monsters in Atlanta.
I think they get beat pretty badly.
Look, Tampa went out on Sunday Night Football and against the Chiefs and just made too many mistakes to start the game. They fumbled a kickoff. They blink their eyes and they're down 14-3. Then it's 21-3. They lose 41-31. So I think if they just cut down the mistakes there, I think they might win that football game.
Patterson's out, right?
Cordell Patterson is on the IR. He'll be out at least 4 weeks. So,
jeez.
Tyler Algier or however you say his name, rookie out of BYU. He'll be the running back there. If you're a fantasy footballer, like we all are here, we're addicted to it. We're junkies. So if Algier is on your waiver wire, go ahead and pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good offense. What's the over-under in this game? 8's a lot, especially for a team that can score.
It's probably 48, I'd say. 48 and a half.
48 and a half. Pretty good, Evan.
Yeah.
But I think Tampa, I think they're going to be pissed off, and I think that they're going to handle the Falcons. A surprise 2-2 for the Falcons, really. They beat the Browns in Atlanta.
Just barely lost, week 1? Against the dirty Saints.
Blew a lead against the Saints, who stink. And
that would be so nice if the Saints were 0-4. Like, they would have the worst.
And
the worst record.
Sitting up there, we charge a king's ransom to someone who actually needs a quarterback for Stroud or Bryce Young or whoever the quarterback emerges that everyone falls in love with. That would be sweet. They're going to lose their games, though, the Saints. They stink.
Yeah.
Bears going to Minnesota. Minnesota's laying 7. Just take the Vikings and go to bed and cash your ticket when that game's over. I'm not betting on the Bears at all. I bet on the Bears Sunday, getting 3 against the Giants, and they lost. I also bet on the Bears when they played the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Bears stink. I'm done donating money to sports books, betting on the Bears. I'm laying 7 all day long here. So that's Denver on Thursday night. I love, and the Vikings so far that I love. Obviously, it's early. Here's another one I love. Detroit going to Foxborough. Bill Belichick and that defense against Jared Goff. I will take the Patriots here at home, laying 2.5 all day long. Bailey Zappi.
I agree with you.
Bailey Zappi is probably going to be the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe with a week of preparation, Bill can feel more comfortable turning them loose a little bit.
I mean, they were able to put up 24 points against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have a good defense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But
they got that Josh Jones or wherever he came from. He had that sweet pick 6 yesterday off Aaron Rodgers. Just read him like a book and took it to the house. So they just reload on that defense. And obviously Bill Belichick schematically, defensively, might be the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson Aguilar having a pretty good year. Our old buddy here in Philadelphia, he's having a pretty good year for the New England Patriots. If he's on your waiver wire in your fantasy league, I would go ahead and pick him up as well.
All the former Eagles going over to the Patriots.
Matt Collins, former Eagles great, filling in for Hunter Renfrow out there in Vegas. Renfrow not healthy, and Matt Collins is putting up great numbers in that slot.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one I like. You start that one up, -2.5. I'm done with the Lions. Houston going to Jacksonville. Houston's getting 7.5 here. Houston's bad, but they're not tragic. I'll take the 7.5 here.
Yeah, I like that. They came back. They almost came back against the Chargers.
They battled.
Let it go, but they came close.
I wouldn't say I love that as much as I love some of the other ones, but I'll take 7.5 here. You're going to be 7.5 points.
Against the Chargers?
Against the Jaguars.
Oh, the Jaguars.
Played the
Jaguar. I think the Jaguars will cover.
Yeah, so you'll lay all them points?
Yeah, I would. I think the Jaguars will come back. And
Davis Mills is kind of good.
I think they'll come back.
I say
they're going to come back strong.
What's the over-under for that game? Has to be
45.
Yeah. Ooh.
Kind of right there. Kind of like the under.
Yeah.
If I had to. I hate over-unders.
Is it in Jacksonville?
It is in Jacksonville, yes.
Depending on weather, I'm sure the weather's fine right now, but that's going to be very dependent on the weather, I think.
No, we got all their weather now.
Yeah.
Chargers coming east, playing Cleveland. Cleveland a 3-point home dog. If I had to I'll take the home dog here just because the game starts at 1.
Well, let me ask a question, okay? Is Cleveland going to have their defensive line back this game?
I don't know. Myles Garrett obviously missed the game yesterday. He's in a single car accident. Thank God he's all right.
They have three guys missing from the lineup. 3 of their top 4 defensive players, 3 of their front 4 were out yesterday.
See, now this is a game that the Chargers, if they want to prove to me that I picked the Chargers to go rather far, I had them and the Bills in the AFC title game. So you got to come east and take care of business against scrappy little Cleveland team with the run game, and Brissett hasn't been that bad, and they have Amari Cooper. Depending on the health of that defense, like if you want to be a contender, you got to come east and you got to win this game. I don't know if they have it in them. Seems to always be something with the Chargers. And
there is always something. It's amazing with the Chargers. There's always something wrong with the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean they're inconsistent, but I mean they're deep. They had a pretty good offseason. They really did. I mean, picking up what was it, Khalil Mack? Was it?
They got Mack. They got J.C. Jackson from New England.
Yeah, their defense has really no excuse. Bosa.
They finally got Eckler rolling yesterday. Mm-hmm. He gets 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, Chargers are the better team, but, like, can they finally shake that Chargers stench and, like, prove that they're a good team? I don't know. I have to see it to believe it. Probably a stay-away game, but if I had to pick, I'll take the home dog.
Yeah, the problem is, as I said, it's always something with the Chargers. Regardless who their coach is, it's like the franchise. Something always seems the other shoe always drops when it comes to the Chargers.
Titans going to Washington, playing the Commanders. Titans are road favorites here, favored by 2.5.
I'd take the Commanders.
Yeah, you like the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I don't think that the Titans are all that good.
I hear
Maybe
you.
I'm prejudiced because they lost to the Giants at home.
I hear you. But Tannehill played well yesterday. They beat the Colts.
But Commanders defensively have played pretty well this year. They've had trouble scoring.
I just don't think
I think
they're going to have an answer.
I think defensively, I think they'll be able to keep the game close. In a close game, you never, at home. I mean, the Commanders are due to have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Stevens, he likes the Jaguars over the Texans. He thinks the Jags are going to be able to run the ball down the Texans' throat. I take the under with James Robinson anytime TD. I mean, James Robinson and ATN, they didn't do anything against the Eagles' defense. It can only go up. I don't know. That's just a lot for me. Just a lot for me. 7.5 there. And I love the Titans over the Commanders. I think the Titans are solid. Are the Titans great? No. But, Brad, you hit the nail on the head. The Titans' defense has been rather good. And they're getting Henry going. And Robert Woods is starting to get healthy to give Tannehill someone to throw to. So I don't think the Titans have really an issue. I mean, they can't block. Washington can't block.
Well, their offense is going to have problems. I think their defense will keep them in the game.
Another low over under 42.5.
I mean, that game could be. I could see that game being like a 17-14 game, 16-13 game. I could see that easily. Yeah. If it's like that, and if it's a game like that, real low scoring, I think the Commanders have a chance.
I don't know. Carson Wentz can't. I don't trust him in the fourth quarter if I'm a Commanders fan.
So am I reading this slate right? The only 4:00 game on the entire slate is the Eagles and the.
No, there's one other game.
I guess they don't have the Niners or the Rams posted yet because they're playing right now.
There is one there. I'm pretty sure there is one other game next week at 4:00.
Well, we got one. We had a stinker to talk about. The Seahawks are going to New Orleans. The Seahawks are getting 6.
The Seahawks are getting 6.
Yeah, I'm not. I like the Seahawks here.
Rams, Cowboys, and 49ers, Panthers on the 4:00.
Okay, those lines aren't out yet because they're on Monday Night Football, so we'll see.
That Cowboys,
Rams Cowboys will be the national TV game, I think.
Anyway, the Saints aren't good enough to be giving anyone 6 points.
No.
Sorry. But I'm not thrilled about betting on a bad team, and there's no way Geno Smith does that 2 weeks in a row. But Andy Dalton, I do think Geno Smith's better than Andy Dalton. I don't know. Well, they get to the Birds. Birds on the road, laying 5, Arizona.
Oh, boy.
I'm hammering the Birds here. I don't think it's a problem. I'll lay the 5. No problem. I think 5-0 this time next week. We'll be talking about a 5-0 football team. I feel very confident about it. They're just better across the board. Special teams, coaching, trenches, quarterback, receivers, everything. Where are the Cardinals better than the Eagles? Anyone?
Debatably quarterback and safety.
I mean, I think it's a fair number. I think the Eagles cover it, no problem. Primetime games, couple good primetime games here. Cincinnati going to Baltimore.
Ooh, that's a good one.
On Sunday Night Football. Ravens at home. They're the standard 3-point home favorite.
I think I like the Ravens this game. I think it did help out the
they're not going to lose 3 in a row.
Cincinnati. Yeah, that too. They can't really hold a lead, but I think things will have to be fixed. I think things will be fixed. I think it will. I feel like it'll be a rout.
I don't know. I kind of like the Bengals here. I really do.
The Bengals did pummel them last year twice.
And I think the Bengals defense is better than the Ravens defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting 3. And I think the Bengals offensive line that was getting critiqued left and right has really gelled against the Dolphins on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So a little extra rest for the Bengals as well. Playing on Thursday and then playing on primetime on Sunday night. So
what's that over under at?
It's got to be pretty high, right? Probably 48.
You might even go 50.
48. It's at 48.
I say maybe under, and I say Ravens by 5 or 6.
And Monday night, big AFC West rivalry. The Las Vegas Raiders go to Arrowhead. Take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite.
You know what? I take the 7 points.
7.
It's a little thick.
I take the 7 points.
And the Raiders aren't that. They're not that bad of a team. That's like a line you get.
The Raiders aren't bad. The Raiders are not a bad team, and they've given the Chiefs all kinds of problems.
7's a lot.
I feel like it's gonna be that game when the Chiefs played the Rams a few years ago. It's gonna be a really good game. I think it's high, a lot of touchdowns being thrown and no defense being played.
I guess I'll take the 7. The Chiefs look awesome. They scored 40 points in 2 of their games. 3-1. They had a clunker in there against what I think is a bad Colts team. I don't know. I think Mahomes and Arrowhead. I don't know, because I don't think the Raiders' offensive line is good enough. But
they got a pretty good pass rush, though.
That Max Crosby guy, he's a freak. I think he's number 98. He's a freak. And the over-under is high at 51. I usually like betting dogs on high totals like that. I love betting dogs that can score. I think the Raiders can score.
The Raiders can score enough to keep it close.
But if you make mistakes against the Chiefs, they're going to run you out of the building.
They will make you pay.
So if you don't, Derek Carr's got to play a clean game. Got to play a clean game. The Raiders have to play a clean game. Josh Jacobs played excellent against Denver. Denver got pretty good defense. Josh Jacobs ran all over him. So that'll be a big key next Monday night too if they can establish balance. Mm-hmm. Adams is going to get his. Waller hasn't gotten on track yet. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. What do you like the 7, Brad?
I take the 7.
What about you, Evan?
I don't. I think it'll be a closer game than that. I'm saying within 3, but it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, no, I take the 7. I take the Raiders plus 7.
Probably should be a stay away game if I've taken this long to decide. All right, that's early leans. Let's talk a little baseball before we get out of here.
By the way, Severino has a no-hitter through 7, but I think he's getting taken out because of his pitch count.
Oh, yeah.
He and Boone were seen arguing in the dugout. So I'm assuming he's taken out.
So Phillies up 1-0 in Houston. Nola's on the hill. Guy on first. Nobody out. Realmuto at the dish. Magic number's 1, meaning if the Phillies win one of these 3 games, they're in. If the Phillies go 0-3, obviously that's not good. But as long as the Brewers lose one of their games, they will be in because the Philadelphia Phillies own the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Can this team do anything in the playoffs?
You never know. That's why they play the games.
So there's a
who would they play? The Cardinals?
Yeah, pretty certain it'll be the Phillies, Cardinals, and then it looks like it's going to be the Padres and the Mets because the Mets have coughed up that NL East lead, played hard against the Braves over the weekend.
Mm.
That would be fun. A Phillies, Mets, NLCS.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how fun it would be.
Okay, so the Mets are going to beat the Dodgers and the Phillies are going to beat the Braves, or vice versa. One or the other. The Mets,
right? No, that's how it would be. Yeah. I mean, the Dodgers.
That would be a. That would be a. I'd tell you what. If you bet that was going to be the series, and it happened, you make yourself some money there.
I think the Mets. If you held a gun to my head right now, I would say the Mets are going to win the National League, despite their issues. I mean, you're going to be. Is the second round 5 games or 7 games?
Second round's 5.
Second round's 5.
ALCS is 7.
So you're facing DeGrom and then Scherzer. That's tough in a 5-game series. Just saying. And Diaz has been lights out. And they need Marte, I think.
But they need Marte back really bad. They miss him offensively.
And the Braves are the champs, but I don't know if Strider's going to be able to pitch. And I think Max Fried left his start on Saturday for the Braves as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Phillies do get past the Cardinals and they play the Braves, I like that matchup a hell of a lot better than having to play the Mets in the second round.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not into facing DeGrom and Scherzer potentially
keep
4
in
out
mind,
of 5 games.
Keep in mind,
and, by the way, you have Bassett.
Acuna's back though.
Oh, the Braves are loaded. There's no question about it. It's not going to be easy at all. I'm not saying that at all. But
I don't know if you watched any of that game last night, but
which game?
I'll tell you what, the Braves and the Mets. What's his name?
No.
The third baseman Riley. He took a gamble on a play in the second inning while the Mets were rallying, where there was a slow ground ball to third base, and he's running in to make a play, and at the very last second he picked up his hand and gambled that the ball would roll foul, and just went foul. Had he let that ball go, had it stayed fair, it probably would have been a double, and they may have had 2 runs scored.
Mm.
And
That's
I don't
what
know if you guys got to see that play, but boy, oh boy.
doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Braves and the Cardinals, they just do everything right that you need to win baseball games.
That team has a very high baseball IQ, the Braves. They really do. Everybody seems to know exactly what they are supposed to do in
That's why I
all
think
situations.
that's why I think it's so interesting, a Phillies Cardinals matchup. You got one team that's kind of just this all-star team that just hits a bunch of home runs and is like an Xbox team, and then you have the Cardinals who, yeah, they have Arenado, they have Goldschmidt, but they have role players, they have good at bats, they run the bases well, they field the ball, and the Phillies seem to not do any of that well.
But the Phillies do have a lot of talent.
Shungun 41, Evan and Brinkman. I bet y'all was hoping old Doug Skeeterson was going to come in the link and steal one, didn't you? I mean, I did. I mean, the graphics up on our social media. I picked the Jags to win 24-23, but I don't root against the Eagles ever.
I knew the Eagles were going to win.
I keep it real when it goes live, but I'm a fan, just like you. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was good enough coming into this season. He's proven me wrong. I love when people prove me wrong. It doesn't happen often because I'm right a lot, despite popular narratives perpetrated by fake news nonsense. But I'm ecstatic Jalen Hurts is playing well. I'm ecstatic the Eagles beat the Jaguars. I'm ecstatic the Eagles are 4-0, and I'm ecstatic that we were going to have a very exciting football season for the next 3-4 months.
You're a prove it guy. You want somebody to prove it to you.
Well, I mean, the last thing I saw Jalen Hurts before week 1 was him getting laughed off the field in Tampa Bay. Sorry if I'm not ready to give that. Sorry if I'm not ready to anoint a guy that got laughed off the field in the playoff game, the keys to my franchise, and $100 million contract and the whole thing. You got to show me a little something.
He so far, now it's only a quarter of the season, but so far he has been very effective. So we'll see.
Anything else you guys want to get off your chest before we wrap up here?
Go Phillies. I don't know.
Go Phillies. Match
I'm
number
nervous
1.
about this game a little bit.
Nola's cruising. Hopefully Sir Anthony can right the ship here a little bit.
Yeah. So Sir Anthony's now is he a long reliever now? Like, what's his position?
I mean, I can't really trust the guy in a high leverage spot right now. I mean,
it sucks because he was good. He was good in the beginning of the season, like mid season with everybody else though. But
he showed he can. Alvardo's been lights out too, so you have another option.
Yep. So I'm guessing they will not pitch Wheeler.
No, Wheeler's done. Wheeler pitched Sunday, yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. So
now I don't know. Do you pitch Suarez tomorrow?
If you win now, you
if they
won't
clinch,
worry about that.
If they clinch, yeah, you pitch them maybe, but you don't let them throw more than 75, 80 pitches.
3, 4 inning, 5 inning.
When is this playoff supposed to start? Like next week?
So it's the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th.
Wow, that's actually closer than I expected.
So you got Wheeler lined up. You got Nola lined up.
And these are 3 games?
3 games.
Out of 3. Whoever wins 2 first.
Yep.
But they're all on the road.
All on the road in St. Louis, presumably in St. Louis. And no off days.
Damn. They don't play good baseball when they don't have those rest days. But then when you give a guy surgery and rest, he comes back and goes 0 for 28 after winning. He needs to.
Yeah, he's got to get going. Schwarber is kind of turning a corner. Reese has got to. They're going to have to hit. They're going to have to hit good pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery's been really good. They have Mikolos down there. I'm sure he'll get the nod
he's
in
good.
one of those games, and
What about Flaherty? What's the deal with him?
I don't know. He's never healthy.
Is he
And
pitching
you
right
have
now?
and you have Wainwright.
Mhm.
Wainwright got toasted yesterday. I think by Pittsburgh.
I mean, if the chips are down, I mean, I think you would want that veteran in there, no, over Flaherty.
If Flaherty's
And they have
healthy,
Quintana too. I think Quintana's pitching right now against whoever, the Pirates, I guess. So maybe you pitch Quintana over Montgomery's been lights out. He's got to go game 1, right? And Mikolas has
Yeah, I
got to
think
be your
so.
second guy.
Wait,
Maybe I'm missing someone here. I don't know.
Montgomery's going to be pitching game 1. Oh my God,
He's been lights out.
he hasn't been good the last 3 or 4 outings though.
He pitched good on Saturday.
How many runs did he give up?
I think just 2 or 1.
Okay, so he did have a
Wasn't
good
much
comeback game.
But they also scored 13, so
Oh,
Cardinals.
okay. Well,
Cardinals helped them out. Or,
I feel like I'm missing someone in
batters.
their pitching staff. Look it up here. Quintana's been good for them too.
Mhm.
He's coming over for the Pirates.
they do have a pretty good bullpen. So
Montgomery,
the American
Steven
League,
Matz. Steven Matz is on there. Flaherty's there. Mikolas, Montgomery, Wainwright.
so the American League, you've got the Guardians. I guess they're going to play Seattle.
Mhm. That's gonna be a good Julio Rodriguez. I'm excited to watch him in the playoffs.
Is he going to play?
He came off the IL today.
Yeah,
Okay. Is he? Well,
Whether he
plays tonight or whether he plays the next couple of games
his
is
backs are
besides the
tricky. Is he
point.
100%? I don't know.
he might be like a late, like 7th inning boost or 8th inning boost if they needed somebody.
Well, I think it's the Guardians and the Rays. It's going to be right, and Toronto and Seattle.
Okay, so if it's Toronto and Seattle, I've got Toronto beating Seattle. And the Guardians and the Rays, that's going to be a real interesting series.
I like the Guardians a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I think they'll beat.
You're gonna have Bieber and McKenzie, and they got Jimenez, they got
By the way, have
Rosario,
you
they got
seen-
Naylor, they got Jose Ramirez.
Have you seen anything with Tampa Bay tonight? By the way, what's going on? Because Tyler Glasnow is pitching tonight for the Rays.
Is that his first game, Brad?
I think it's his second game.
I mean, that's a game changer. I mean, he's a lot of talent.
Yeah, I'd be anxious to see how he pitches tonight. That could be a major difference.
So they're down 4-3 to Boston in the 7th.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're going to have McClanahan. It's going to be McClanahan, Bieber.
Well, McClanahan's back. I thought McClanahan got hurt.
Now he's back.
He's back. Okay. So McClanahan, maybe Glasnow.
Glasnow went 3 2/3, no runs let up, and he struck out 7.
Oh boy.
He threw 64 pitches, so they're easing him back. But Jaden Springs is really good down there, so
Rob, their whole pitching staff.
they're going to mix and match like they always do, and that is going to be a really good series.
Yeah, and they can hit. Everybody's back on the lineup again.
Rosarina, Franco.
Yeah, Harold Ramirez.
Boy, Jimon Choi, he's probably good for a home run out of nowhere.
Yep. I mean, they managed to score in a Wandy. What's his name?
Wander Franco, yeah, he's
Wander
back.
Franco.
He's
No, who's the other guy? Diaz, the third baseman.
Yeah, he's not in the lineup tonight.
No, he's probably
But
being rested.
He's good as well.
Yep. I mean, they can hit. They score enough runs.
All right. We're wrapped
Lau,
up.
don't forget Lau. He's also on the team.
He's hurt, I think. I think he's done.
He's hurt again?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Fairly certain he's done for the year. I could be wrong, though.
Okay.
But we'll wrap up. We'll get out of here. We're going to have playoff baseball next week. We're going to have hockey to talk about next week. We're going to have hopefully a 5-0 Eagles team to talk about next week. We might have 4-1 Giants and Cowboys teams to talk about. It'll be Dallas week, prime time, Sunday Night Football. We'll be previewing that, so keep it locked here on A2D Radio. We are the Sports Hounds, Evan Taylor, Brad Ryer. I'm Rob Brinkman. Shout out to all our sponsors. Shout out to all the people that liked, subscribed, listened, and commented on our show. And until next Monday night, peace out, everybody.
Peace.